So let's go back to those three review questions, 19, 20, and 21. And I think we could do these fairly quickly because this is really, after all, a review. The figure is, let's look at 19. The figure is reflected across line segment AD. The pre-image of EF is what order matters? Okay, so I'm going to take, rather than flipping the patty paper, I'm going to do the second method, which is to fold it. Okay, so I'm going to fold it onto itself. The figure is reflected across AD, so I'm going to fold this paper up on AD. I'm going to take it, fold it. I can see through it that this is AD. I'm going to make a crease here on AD. And let's see what happens. Okay, I kind of was off a little bit. Let me see if I can make it just a little bit better. Good. Okay, that looks better. The pre-image of EF is, so EF is the image, and we're asking what is the pre-image. So take a look. What maps into EF? Well, EF is here. This is EF down here, and what's coming on top of it is CB. Okay, so the answer is CB. You can just fold it in C. So CB is the pre-image of EF. Let's go on to number 20. D is the image of B when the figure is reflected across what line? Okay, so let me go ahead and make a new figure up here with the patty paper. A, B, C, D, E, F with an O. And let's answer this question. D is the image of B when the figure is reflected across. So D and B have to be mapped onto each other. So let me go ahead and take the patty paper and now fold it in such a way so that D goes on top of B. Okay, so that's how D goes on top of B. If I do this, I can see right through the patty paper that on this side you see it looks like a B, and on this side it's the D. So I've mapped D on top of B. See again, D went on top of B. So the question is, across what line did I reflect? Well, across line CF. That's the crease. I made the crease on CF. So the answer has to be CF. Okay, and finally, let's do number 21. And I'm going to need another patty paper for that. So let me, again, write my points in here. Got A, B, C, D, E, F, and O. And there's two parts to the question 21. F is first reflected across BE. Okay, so then let's go ahead and reflect F across BE. So how do I do that? I've got to fold along line BE to see what I get. So let me fold along line BE and see where F maps. So there we go. F maps into D. Okay, F maps into D. So now I'm at D. So let me circle D because this is the result of the first reflection. Took me from F to D. The second part is that that image maps to B when reflected across what line? Okay, so now I have to map D to B, and I have to figure out what line that is. Well, let me go ahead and try to put B on top of D, and that will tell me, see this is D and that's B, and I'm going to just put one on top of the other. That will tell me what line I have to use in order to map this D to B. So I'm going to put D on top of B, make a really, really heavy crease, so I'll be able to tell it from the first crease. This is a really strong crease. And that has to be, let's see what we get. This crease was just made across line CF. Okay, so that's this heavy-duty crease I just made here. So D maps into B if we reflect across CF. So that is the answer here. Okay, so those are the answers, and I think you could tell, maybe even just by looking at it, how to do this sort of a problem. So let's just kind of look and see if we could figured it out. F is first reflected across BE. So I think you could tell that if this is the mirror here, F reflected across BE gives us D. And then what do we reflect that to map it to B? Well, to go from D to B, you've got to have a line that's perpendicular to this line between D and B, and that would be CF. Okay, so we could have seen it that way as well.